What is going on, Payton peeps, and welcome once again to another edition of WWE 13 Experience. We are just 4 weeks away from the Royal Rumble, and you know what that means? It's the start of the road to the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. Kicking things off on Raw this week, Dolph Ziggler, who was accompanied to the ring once again by his girlfriend AJ Lee, went one-on-one with a very hungry Ryback. If you can cast your minds back a couple of weeks ago, Ryback had the opportunity to become the new WWE Champion in the main event of Extreme Rules against John Cena and CM Punk in a steel cage match. But unfortunately for Ryback, he just came up short. Meanwhile, Ziggler has been on such an incredible run of good form, beating the likes of John Cena, Chris Jericho, and even the hardcore legend, Cactus Jack. It's not every day you come across someone like Dolph Ziggler who is willing to step into that squared circle against Ryback, who was just in a foul mood on Monday night. He was brimming full of frustration and he was ready to put an end to Dolph Ziggler's run of good form. In Ryback's eyes, this match was going to be a walk in the park. He threw pretty much everything at Dolph Ziggler, but Ziggler should never be underestimated. As the match progressed, Dolph Ziggler wasn't given the chance to show off as he normally does. Everywhere Dolph would turn, Ryback would be there waiting to connect with a devastating maneuver. The question that was playing across the WWE Universe's lips was, would this be the night that Dolph Ziggler would finally lose? As Dolph started to gain momentum against Ryback, he received a signature maneuver. He had it stored, he was ready to hit Ryback with everything he had. But Ryback wasn't ready to go down just yet as he hits Dolph Ziggler with another devastating belly-to-belly suplex, pulls him to the middle of the ring, goes for the cover, hooks the leg, but it's just a 1 count as Ziggler kicks out. But what's this? Ziggler takes Ryback by surprise and nails him with a Fameasser, gets him to his feet and finishes the surprise burst of energy with the zigzag. Could Dolph Ziggler's run of good form continue? Ziggler goes for the cover, looking to put Ryback away, hooks the leg, and it's just a 1 count. How on earth did Ryback kick out of that? Ziggler could sense the beginning of the end. He went for a roll up, but Ryback again powers out, and then hits Ziggler with a spinning side slam. Ryback then lifts Dolph Ziggler up onto his shoulders, marches around the ring, and hits him with shell shot. The only person shell shot is AJ Lee, who was standing on the ring apron. He goes for the cover, hooks the leg, and Dolph Ziggler kicks out of 2. He hits Ryback with a Fameasser. He's hurting, he's holding onto that abdomen, wakes up Ryback once more and hits him for the final time with the zigzag. Goes for the cover, hooks the leg once more. 1, 2, and 3. Ziggler's run of good form continues. The question is, who will be able to put an end to it?
I'm Dean Ambrose.
Roman Reigns.
I'm Seth Rollins.
What do we know about injustice?
We don't just know injustice.
We shield the WWE from injustice. Nobody says no to the Shield.
We don't work for anybody. Not Paul Heyman, not the WWE Champion. We work for each other.
I'm Dean Ambrose.
Seth Rollins.
I'm Roman Reigns. Welcome to the Shield of Justice.
Finally, we find out who these men dressed all in black are. Their names? Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And they're here to shield the WWE from injustice. After successfully capturing the World Tag Team titles at Extreme Rules against Primo and Epico, Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow discuss with Josh Matthews who they would like to put the titles up against, or whether they'd be playing a part in the Royal Rumble. As the interview came to an end, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins from The Shield thought it would be a good idea to attack the World Tag Team Champions Team Rhodes Scholars. Up next, the All-American Jack Swagger takes on Drew McIntyre.
Approaching the ring from Ayr, Scotland, weighing 256 pounds, Drew McIntyre.
The All-American Jack Swagger returned to action on Monday night after being out for many months. And what a return it was. His dominance shined through in his match against Drew McIntyre. Some would even say that Drew McIntyre was taught a lesson in wrestling within that squared circle on Monday Night Raw this past week. We all know Swagger became a two-time high school state champion back in his amateur wrestling career, and the match against Drew McIntyre on Monday night demonstrated that he is back with a vengeance and means business. After continually beating down Drew McIntyre, Jack Swagger took the opportunity to hit his signature gut-wrench powerbomb, going for the pin and picking up the win.
Here's your winner, the All-American Jack Swagger.
He gets a big victory here tonight.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
The Shield strike once again, taking down Jack Swagger this time. Maybe they felt Drew McIntyre had been on the receiving end of injustice. Well, up next was the main event for Monday Night Raw. Y2J Chris Jericho going head to head against John Cena. The winner would receive #1 contendership for CM Punk's WWE Championship. Before the match kicked off, CM Punk came to the ring and joined Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole on commentary.
Approaching the ring from Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing 240 pounds, John Cena.
So whoever won this match, whether it be Chris Jericho or John Cena, they would go on to the Royal Rumble to meet CM Punk in a one-on-one match for the WWE Championship. But if Cena or Jericho lose, they would be joining 29 other superstars in the Royal Rumble in just 3 weeks' time. CM Punk said that he doesn't care who he faces at the Royal Rumble for his WWE title. He said he will go on to successfully retain and hold on to the title for a very long time, simply because he believes he is the best in the world. Jericho was in control of the match and even took time out to pay Punk a little visit. For a few years now, Chris Jericho has been claiming that he is the best in the world at what he does, and he can even back it up. We know he was the first ever undisputed champion in the WWE after beating The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And many people would say that CM Punk still has a long way to go before he can consider himself the best in the world. Chris Jericho took both of Cena's legs from underneath him, tries to turn around and eventually does, locking in the walls of Jericho. Will Cena tap? Will Cena reach his breaking point, or will he get to that bottom rope? He was crawling on both hands, making it incredibly difficult for Jericho to completely lock it in, and Cena got to the ropes, and Jericho out of nowhere hits Cena with the code breaker, goes for the pin, 1, and it's just a 1 count. Cena manages to kick out. He's on the comeback, vintage Cena. There was the classic spin out powerbomb from John Cena, but he was unable to nail Jericho between the eyes with a 5-knuckle shuffle. Both men wasn't going to give up just yet. Jericho wanted to go to the Royal Rumble, so did John Cena. Jericho for the second time around looks to lock in that walls of Jericho. Look at the positioning, right in the middle of the ring, making it harder for Cena to get to that bottom rope and break up the submission. Cena was so close to reaching that bottom rope. Jericho was so close to making Cena tap as he almost reached his breaking point, but somehow, someway, John Cena finds that little bit of strength from deep within and powers out of the walls of Jericho. He wakes Jericho up, lifts him up onto his shoulders with ease, and nails Jericho with the attitude adjustment. Is this the end? Is Cena going to the Royal Rumble to face CM Punk for his WWE title? He goes for the pin, and Jericho manages to kick out at 2. Jericho from out of nowhere gets up after the cover, hits Cena with the code breaker, pulls him into the middle of the ring, goes for the cover himself. 1, 2, and 3. Jericho is going to the Royal Rumble to face CM Punk for his WWE title. After the match, CM Punk got into the ring, looked to attack Jericho from behind, but Jericho too smart for CM Punk. Who is the best in the world? CM Punk or Chris Jericho? Over to SmackDown now, and the landscape has been changed. SmackDown has a new World Heavyweight Champion in Randy Orton. The Age of Orton begins again. Well, kicking things off on SmackDown this week though, the Intercontinental Champion The Miz went one-on-one with Rey Mysterio once again. As you should know by now, The Miz successfully retained his Intercontinental title at Extreme Rules in a ladder match against Christian. At Extreme Rules, The Miz once again backed up everything he said he was going to do, and even more. Christian's career may have come to an end at Extreme Rules after taking such a huge fall off the top of that ladder. As we know, Rey Mysterio is good friends with Christian, and going head to head with The Miz on Friday Night SmackDown was the perfect opportunity to get a little retribution for what happened at Extreme Rules to his friend. Last time, Miz and Mysterio went one-on-one with each other. Miz only just managed to pick up the win, but this time around, Mysterio made sure he was walking out of that ring as the winner. Well, up next, the new World Heavyweight Champion, the Viper Randy Orton, was in action against Antonio Cesaro, who is another superstar that has been in tremendous form as of late. But was that about to come to an end, as Orton is flying high on momentum right now after beating Sheamus at Extreme Rules? Antonio Cesaro may be strong and agile, but he was no match for Randy Orton on Friday night. Orton picking Cesaro up off the canvas and nailing him with an inverted backbreaker. The Viper was coiled, he was ready to strike, he was ready to pounce on Cesaro, and he did with an epic RKO, and that was all she wrote for Antonio Cesaro. There'll be no getting up after that RKO. After quickly defeating Antonio Cesaro, that gave Randy Orton the chance to watch the main event between Mark Henry and Sheamus from a TV monitor backstage. Both Sheamus and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, wanted to show the WWE Universe and Randy Orton why they deserve a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Both men went at each other locking horns, but it seemed as though the former World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus just simply didn't turn up. He seemed to be sidetracked, and that will cost you, especially when you're in the ring against the world's strongest man, a man that is bent on destruction. And destruction is what Mark Henry caused. He wasn't looking to have a nice little singles match. He wanted to hurt Sheamus. He wanted to induct him into the Hall of Pain. Somehow Sheamus kicked out of the World's Strongest Slam. Henry took the fight to the outside, smashing Sheamus' head into the announce table, and then for the second time he hit Sheamus with the World's Strongest Slam. But that wasn't enough for Mark Henry. He went over to the timekeeper's area, snatched the steel chair and started swinging at Sheamus, getting himself disqualified. And to end SmackDown in this week's WWE 13 experience, Mark Henry finished Sheamus off by kicking his skull against a steel ring post. Hope you've enjoyed, guys. See you soon.